This is the MPH training for Module 2. Module 2 is a crossover randomized study of 3 dietary interventions that would be administered in community dwelling individuals. This module will enroll at least 1,500 people who have completed Module 1. The participants in Module 2 will undergo 3 controlled dietary interventions, which will be provided for 14 days each, and the order of these diets will be determined by cohort randomization, and each diet will be separated by a washout period of at least 14 days. But all 3 dietary intervention periods should be completed within 6 months. One of the aims of the Module 2 study is to determine the physiological response to the diet-specific meal test. Here is an illustration of the design of Module 2. Approximately 1,500 individuals will come to the clinic for a pre-testing visit. The first time that they come to the clinic for Module 2, they will be randomized to the order in which they will receive the 3 dietary interventions. During each of the dietary interventions, participants will be asked to make a number of measurements at home, and at the end of each dietary intervention period, they will return to the clinic for approximately 6 to 8 hours, in which they will complete the diet-specific meal test and undergo various measurements and provide a number of biospecimens. The 3 diets that will be provided in Module 2 are referred to as the blue diet, the purple diet, and the orange diet. As you can see here, these diets were designed to provide different food components as well as different macronutrient targets. For example, the diets contain different servings of fruits and vegetables, different servings of fish, nuts, as well as animal proteins, and different amounts of food that come from processed and unprocessed sources. As we already mentioned, the goal is to provide different amounts of macronutrients. You can see these here, as well as fiber. All the diets will provide the same amount of energy as each other, but the energy will be specific, the energy or calories will be specific to each person based on their body size. We will use a calculator based on an individual's sex, age, height, and weight to determine the number of calories that they would need to maintain their weight during the 2-week diet period. We will monitor participants' weight closely throughout each diet to ensure that they remain weight stable. And for those participants who change their weight more than 2 kilograms, we will make adjustments to the calories provided in the diet. Here is an example of some of the foods that will be provided when participants eat the blue diet. Here are some examples of the foods that will be provided when participants eat the orange diet. And here are some examples of foods that participants will receive when they are eating the purple diet. Participants won't be able to choose the order in which they eat the diets. These will be assigned at random, and participants will be enrolled in cohorts. For example, here in the illustration, participants who enroll in the first cohort will be receiving the blue diet first, the orange diet second, and the purple diet third. Individuals that enroll in the second cohort, for example, would receive blue, purple, followed by orange, and so forth. Here is the schedule of assessments and clinical activities that will occur in the Module 2 study. Module 2 has 6 in-person visits and 3 different testing periods. Each testing period or dietary intervention is approximately 14 days long. This is diet period 1, this is diet period 2, and this is diet period 3. The dietary intervention periods are separated by these at-home periods or washout periods of at least 14 days each. During each testing period, participants will complete visit 1 at the clinic, as well as visit 2 at the clinic, and they'll also be asked to participate in a number of measurements that they will collect at home while they are eating the diets. At visit 1, the study staff will be required to discuss the Module 2 study requirements and plan with the study participants. Individuals who would like to enroll would be asked to sign the informed consent form, and this will occur before we initiate any study procedures. Some screening measurements are required to occur at the clinic, and these include point-of-care testing to assess hemoglobin A1C, and a questionnaire called the audit questionnaire to assess alcohol dependency. Once participants are deemed eligible to enroll in the Module 2 study, we will proceed with the visit to collect a number of measurements. Body measurements will include height, weight, waist, hip and thigh circumference, measure of body fat using a BIA machine, collection of vital signs including blood pressure, pulse, breathing rate and temperature, and collection of biospecimens, blood, urine and saliva. Participants will also be asked to complete a number of questionnaires which will help us to learn about their health, their current medications and medical history, lifestyle and eating habits, sleep, and we'll also collect some updated contact information. When participants are ready to start the 14-day diet, and it may be at visit 1, but it might be at a later point in time, they will come to collect the meals from the kitchen, and at that day, we'll also insert a continuous glucose monitor to measure interstitial glucose, and we'll provide them with an activity monitor, which they will wear on their wrist. During the dietary intervention period, so about 2 weeks long, participants will complete a number of different study-related activities at home while they're eating the diets. They will continue to wear the CGM device and the accelerometer. They will also complete a sleep and activity log, and they will wear a heart rate strap around their chest for the last 3 days of each diet period as well. Throughout the dietary intervention, they're going to be asked to participate in the tracking of what they eat and what they're drinking. We'll be having them fill out a questionnaire each day about the amount of, or the types of foods that they've been eating from those which have been provided. And they will be asked to either take pictures of what they're eating, or using their phone, their camera on their phone, or via an automatic method, which will be a pair of eyeglasses that would be provided to them. Also, during the last 3 days of each diet, participants will have a stool collection kit, and they'll be asked to collect a stool sample that they'll bring with them when they return for the visit 2 testing. The visit 2 testing in each diet period will be a fasting visit. The visit will take about 8 hours to complete, and participants should arrive at the clinic without having eaten or drunken anything for at least the past 8 hours. We'll repeat the body measurements. We will also repeat vital signs. We will ask participants to eat one of the breakfast meals that they've been eating for the last 2 weeks. And in conjunction with the breakfast meal, we'll collect blood samples, urine and saliva samples before the breakfast and after breakfast for about 4.5 hours. During this time, we'll be asking them questionnaires about their eating habits yesterday, as well as their craving and stress levels during the study visit. When the diet-specific meal test is finished, we will collect the continuous glucose monitor, the activity monitor, and the heart rate strap, and any of the tools that they may have been given to track the eating and drinking throughout the diet period. If this is testing period 1 or testing period 2, the participants will be discharged and enter into a washout period for about 14 days, and they'll be asked to return for the 2nd or the 3rd dietary intervention period when they're able to. Each of these dietary intervention periods, as I mentioned, need to be completed within a period of 6 months. The compensation plan for the Module 2 study is a total of $1,500, and this can be prorated as $150 for completion of visit 1, $350 per completion of each dietary intervention for a total of $1,050, and $300 for completing all of the module 2 visits. Thank you and good luck.